Hi again. I've got my oils all room temperature, just making sure everything is mixed together. There's palm, olive, coconut, almond, and a little bit of shea butter. Now I brought in my lye mixture. It is lye, flax milk, and some brown sugar to add some sudsing to the soap because I'm out of castor oil and I want it to have nice good sudsing quality. I've also kept it cold, and I've watched until the lye is nice and cool. Don't want this to be a warm soap. I've also got my bucket sitting inside of a larger bowl, and I will be keeping a close eye on the temperature, and as the temperature starts to rise, I will put ice around it to keep the temperature below 100 degrees. I'm using a digital thermometer. It's quick, it's easy, and it cuts right through it. You can genuinely get true temperature. I'll be periodically checking the temperature on it. I've been mixing for a few minutes. Now I'm going to add my pureed pumpkin, and I went ahead and put my pumpkin fragrance oil in there as well, just to give it a little more pumpkin smell. The puree itself has a beautiful smell, but sometimes you can lose it, so I wanted to be sure it kept its beautiful fragrance. Then I'll just mix that in. You can see what a beautiful color that is as it mixes in. Here I'm checking the temperature and it's starting to rise just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put some ice around it. I want to keep the temperature as low as possible. This is not a soap I want to gel. I continued mixing for about 3 to 4 minutes. I vary my speed between high, low, and off so I don't burn up my Cuisinart. And I think it's just about ready. I don't want it to be too thin, but I also don't want it to be too thick. I've got it right about at a good medium trace. I checked the temperature several times and have been maintaining a lower temperature on it, so all is going well. Next, I'll pour about 2 cups of soap into the mold. I had to switch the bowl and the mold around so it would be in the camera. Anyway, I'm putting just enough soap on the bottom, maybe about an inch, inch and a half, something like that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my spices. Now this is kind of an interesting little mix I put here. I use Ceylon cinnamon, which is extremely pale, and pumpkin pie spice is also on the pale side, and I wanted it a little bit darker, so I added some charcoal and I added some mica just to give it a little bit of sparkle through it. So it's spicy, sparkly, very, very good smelling, but I need it dusted lightly across the top. Next, I'll be pouring the soap from a little bit of height because I want the spices to go ahead and swirl through the soap. They won't just lay there. This is not a layered type of thing. This is a swirl. And it will put those spices throughout the soap in real pretty patterns. So this is what it ended up looking like. As you can see, it's a got real pretty swirls from the cinnamon and pumpkin pie spices. They're pretty. Let's try to give you a quick view of some of them. And the reason I didn't mix it in is because I didn't want brown soap. I wanted it to look really genuinely pumpkin. Which true pumpkin is not that dark orange color. It's a real pale orange, just like what you're seeing. Here's a nice overhead view. See, it got just a little striped on the ends. Top is real pretty on them. And that's my pumpkin soap.